next week, everybody.
Thank you, guys. See you next week when we talk about my pick, which is the butterfly. So welcome to the stream, everybody. It's Ryan, Garrett, and Rank again. Back at it. And this week we're talking about "Here Comes the Cowboy" by DeMarco. All right, so I picked this album because I really enjoy it. This was my first exposure to DeMarco. When I first heard this album, I came across it, and I was like, "Yeah, I like Cowboys. I'll listen to this album." And it was nothing like what I expected it to be, but I still really enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite album by Mac. And I think it's very bizarre. Like, some of his lyrical styles is a bit, like, strange. Like, for instance, his opening song, "Here Comes the Cowboy," repeats the same 4 words over and over again.
That's because the cowboy is coming.
And so the cowboy is coming. But, and it's just a lot of different, like, very bizarre ways that he sings, and he uses a bunch of, like, strange ad-libs and throws in, like, hoots and hollers throughout it. And I think it's just a very unique album, and I think that he does a great job at keeping it bizarre, but also keeping it grounded enough to where it's not like a turn-off or anything. I guess, since we're doing a different format this week, where each of us is going to talk about our general feelings about the album, and then once we're all done talking about our general feelings about the album, we're going to go song by song for each song throughout the album. So besides that, it's a sad album. It's very, like, melancholy, I guess, is the number one feeling I get while listening to it. Or
yeah, I'll dig that.
It feels like almost like a sad nostalgia, like a longing for something. And some of the songs are like happy themes, like some of the songs he writes about his girlfriend. Some of the songs he writes about his friends.
And some of the songs he goes to the airport.
Yeah, and so the that threw me off, Frank. I don't even know where I was going now with that.
Sorry about that.
But I'd say the number one theme of the album is the idea of the grass is always greener on the other side. Like, it's a very, and it's back, I think he literally says that sometime in one of the songs. I think it was "Hey Cowgirl." But he likes to sing about, like, how we live in a society sort of song, or sort of album. Like, it has, like, a lot of criticisms of the hustle and bustle of daily life. Kind of like OK Computer. I would say it's less on the nose than OK Computer. It's a little more subtle here. But it definitely has those themes throughout some of the songs.
Yeah, it's like Deltron 3030. That's pretty subtle.
Yeah, Deltron 3030, one of the most subtle albums we've listened to so far. Besides that, I'd give this album a solid 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10. I can't even really put into words what I think I would change. In fact, I don't know that I would change anything about it. But sometimes I feel like it gets a little too silly, I guess. And which I know that's his style, and I respect him for having that style. But it seems almost jarring sometimes, like almost like a comic relief. Some of the stuff that he does, like the goofier lyrics that he has, and then it gets really serious, and so you kind of get whiplash from the themes sometimes in the way that's bouncing around. But overall, I think this is a great album. I really enjoy it. My favorite Mac DeMarco album, and Mac DeMarco is one of my favorite artists right now. So that's all I got to say on it. Who would like to go next?
Can I go next? I'm gonna go next. I'm not gonna ask for permission.
All right. Rates 5 out of 10 of the week is.
Actually, that's quite funny because on Instagram, I'm gonna have to give you props. Unlike everybody else, you've managed to get 2 albums that I like in a row. So,
Really?
round of applause. Yeah, honestly, when I first started listening to the album, thank you for that heavy round of applause. When I first started listening to the album, I didn't really like it too much. It was a bit slow for my taste, but after like the third song, when it started picking up a bit more, I actually really started to enjoy it. When I first realized it was Mac DeMarco, I was kind of hoping for like a European Vegas vibe, but I did still really enjoy this. Yeah, I'd probably give it like a soft 7 or 8.
Okay.
Somewhere in that area. I mean, I definitely got quite a few songs into my playlist now. I do agree he could be a bit silly at times. I thought Choo Choo was my main example for that. I felt just a bit. But that is, as you said, how Mac DeMarco works sometimes. I think my least favorite song would probably have to be Bye Bye, Baby Bye Bye. Just because, as I said, that's like, 5 minutes of him just in an airport for a while.
Are you talking about the train station interlude? That was like 30 seconds, but okay.
No. The one at the very end, the one that's like 7 minutes long, where like it's music for like 3 and a bit minutes, and then it's like 4 minutes of my man's just.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It is 7 minutes long, but okay. All right. Well, I'll accept your criticism.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else actually.
No, that's definitely the song that you're thinking of, because I know exactly what you're talking about. It just shocks me because that's actually probably my favorite song off the album, and I really like the train station interlude.
As you guys remember from Not Waving But Drowning, I like replayability in music. You know, I don't like skits. Skits are like cool, but like have them as separate songs. If they're just at the end of a song, then I can't have it on repeat. Like I have to physically change it. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, no. Otherwise, I enjoyed the album. I liked it.
All right, I'm happily surprised, honestly.
You're finally giving good shit. Ryan, Garrett, you two could learn. Actually,
I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten a negative score.
Yeah, no. Actually, I was literally about to say. Actually, Garrett's been pretty good so far.
Ryan.
Nah, y'all know I'm fucking. Y'all know I'm fucking. We all have our different tastes.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid.
Like how I love this sandwich.
I mean, a good sandwich is a good sandwich, right? Like I like it. I appreciate it. Well, that's cool, Garrett, but do you have a cool sandwich? I don't think so.
A good sandwich is a good sandwich!
Speaking of sandwiches, do you guys want to play Dying Light after the stream?
Yeah,
Sure.
be down.
Alright, sweet.
I don't know what that... Oh, wait, that's right. That's what that...
Did we, are you done, Rink?
Yeah, I'd say I'm done. I don't really have too much to say, but if I remember, I'll just chime in later.
I shall go next. So, this was not my first introduction to Mac DeMarco. I found Mac DeMarco through Chamber of Reflection, and, I think the first album of his that I listened to properly was, Rock and Roll Nightclub. And, I think I went from that directly to this. I don't remember exactly, and I don't remember my reasoning, but it was jarring because he went through so much of a stylistic change from his previous discography to this album. I mean, even from This Old Dog, it was a pretty big change. But, I think the big theme behind this album, at least aesthetically, is simplicity. Because, I think Ted Kaczynski would enjoy this album because, there's an emphasis on how simplistic, life can be, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's Ted Kaczynski?
He's the guy that
Unabomber.
he's the Unabomber.
Ah, of course.
So, and I think that's where, that's part of the reason why, I think this album could be more enjoyable to some people over OK Computer, because it doesn't have, like, all of this experimental sound and prog rock and all this other fancy-fangled stuff. It's just Mac.
Yeah, very simple.
And
It actually is a simple album, like he wants life to be, you know.
And I think it reflects the album cover, because the album cover is just a little smiley face button on a white background. And
Speaking of which, I do want to talk about that smiley face when you're done.
Yeah, I have questions about it.
It sort of just speaks to how, like, you don't have to have something so complicated to be happy, and sometimes it just takes going slow and taking it simple to really understand the joys of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Overall, I would give this a light, a decent 8. And what were you gonna say about the smiley face?
Okay, well, I forgot. I wanted to read his press release that he did when he dropped the album. And he goes into like detail about like what a lot of the album is about. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that. That's from Genius.com, by the way, on the like album page. So, in a press release, Mac explained in detail the title of the album and the recording process. Hi, Mac here. First of all, thank you for listening to my new record. This is my Cowboy plate. The word cowboy is like a pet name for me. I often use it when I talk about people in my life. This rusty old grinning button on the front and back of the plate I bought from a man in the mountains somewhere in the, I'm gonna mispronounce this, Nantahala National Forest between Chattanooga, Tennessee and Asheville, North Carolina. Where I grew up, Nantahala, maybe?
Yeah, Nantahala.
Nantahala, okay. In the Nantahala Mountains somewhere between Chattanooga, Tennessee and Asheville, North Carolina. Where I grew up, there are many people who wear cowboy hats and do cowboy things with conviction, but these are not the people I'm referring to. I played all the instruments on the record myself, except for a bit of keyboard here and there, played by my tour keyboardist, now one of my oldest friends, Alec Mean. My traveling sound engineer, Yakitori Santar, also helped me record and assemble the tracks. During the recording, it was raining in Los Angeles. If you pay close attention, you can hear it knocking on the windows of the garage here and there. So yeah, that button, he just bought off some dude while he was traveling. He's not even really sure where he got it specifically. And, but apparently he just liked it, and it was just a simple little smiley face button that he kept on him as a memento. And so, I think what he means by the cowboy is, so he doesn't mean like literal cowboys, like living on a ranch and stuff. I think it's like, it's a lifestyle
Big iron
of,
on the head.
yeah, it's a lifestyle. Anybody could be a cowboy, like even if you're living in the big city. I think that's a big takeaway from this album. That's what I got from it as well, is that you can live this simple, stoic lifestyle of a cowboy. Like, just be an individual and walk to the own beat of your drum and just kind of enjoy life for what it is. And that's what I think is the, like, biggest thing that when it comes to calling somebody a cowboy. So anyway, sorry to interrupt before you, Garrett, but that's just something I wanted to add.
I mean, that actually answered the question I was about to ask, so, you know.
Oh, what were you gonna ask?
Well, I mean, like, because Ryan said simplicity, and that's why it's just a smiley face, but that made me wonder why, like, that strange, almost greenstone looking smiley face.
Yeah.
Why not just do your not trademarked smiley face? You know, yellow shit. But yeah, no, that answered it because it was an actual thing to him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a rusty old pitch.
Which, to be fair, is cooler than just, oh yeah, I took the first JPEG of a smiley face I found.
Yeah. Googled smileyface.png.
I Google smileyface.png and get 1 billion result.
Okay, so
Also, I'm looking at the album, sorry Garrett, one more thing, and I notice with the smiley face, it's also like, it's almost inverted. Like normally, the features of the face are the dark colors, and the actual face is the light color. I think that's really interesting. And I don't know if that was like an intentional part, if that meant anything when he selected this to put on the album, or if it's just like something they got upset. But I think that's kind of cool too. Anyway, now Garrett, you may speak.
so
Well, actually, no. So, go ahead.
So the thing I don't like about this album is it gives off that laid back cowboy vibe without being country music.
Yeah.
I really
You know
like
what?
that.
When you say that's like totally correct. Like, straight up. I definitely
Yeah.
get that.
100%.
And Garrett can attest, I have recently lost friends due to my view of country music.
Well, did they like country music?
Yes.
Yeah, they like country music.
Then
I
they deserved
absolutely
it.
hate country music.
And they deserved it.
So what I really liked, I just like how chill the album is. It's I generally like chill music, so it just was kind of like right up my alley. And I want to talk about like lyrics that stood out to me, or like songs that stood out to me. I don't want to go into too much detail because we're going to go into detail anyway. My favorite song was "Preoccupied." I like that one.
Wow.
Some of the lyrics were really interesting. They were like weird, like Freemasonry.
Yeah, I saw that
References
on the
in
square.
there. Yeah,
We'll talk
on the
about
square, and I think there's another one that had Freemasonry. He said, oh yeah, it's on Nobody. Nobody. He says, there's no third degree, and it was supposed to be a reference to like being a third degree Mason in some way. I didn't read that much into it, but I don't really know too much about Freemasonry, so
Oh well. Looks
I
like
wouldn't-
he's
yeah.
one of the intergalactic lizard people. Wait!
But
Wait! In the Nobody music video!
yeah, he's a lizard.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I noticed that too.
That's pretty funny.
That has gotta be. He's gotta be like sprinkling that to scare all the paranoid schizophrenics. And they're just
Oh,
like,
you mean like
the
you?
patterns!
But yeah, I feel like it's just a really simple version of OK Computer, and overall I give it a high 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I liked it.
All right.
Yeah, I liked the ending of well, I'll just talk about that when we talk about it. We'll just go into each song.
Okay. Alrighty then. So now, yeah, I guess we'll start with the individual songs. So first up on the track list is the titular "Here Comes the Cowboy." And on Genius, it has incredibly detailed and lyrical analysis. One bio that has been unreviewed, 2 upvotes, and says, "I think the Cowboy's coming" by Lego Cat. The comments are Dude Dringen said yeehaw, and Jussa23 said this is deep. So The
Thank God
lyrics.
for genius.
The lyrics is here comes the cowboy. 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 Here comes the cowboy.
Oh God, no!
What
Wait,
happened?
hold on, Graham.
The cowboy's here!
What
Cowboys
happened?
arrived.
Creeper, man. Dang old creeper,
Uh-oh.
man. They gonna pop out of nowhere, man. They gonna ate my booty
Bro,
hole, man.
we all just hear knocks on our doors like the cowboy's coming.
Did y'all see the meme that I put in the group chat?
Yeah, I saw that in the group chat.
Yeah, the cowboy is fucking coming. So anyway, this is probably the deepest, lyrically the deepest song on the album.
I mean,
Oh,
previously,
incredibly-
before I listened to this album, like, some of my favorite lyrics was like, you know, Kendrick Lamar's like Control verse, or like, you know, some of the
Or,
ASAP
like,
Rocky
Kendrick
stuff comes to mind,
Syrup
or-
sandwiches.
but then I listened to this album and it just like blew everything else out of the water. I don't know how I can listen to, you know, music ever again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now
I
that
don't
you
know
know
if
that
you
the
think it could live
Cowboys
up to
coming.
that.
Yeah, I don't think
Now-
I could ever listen
Now
to
that
like,
you know the
lyrics
Cowboy's
ever
coming.
again.
Okay, can we just scare all the paranoid schizophrenics and just start chanting numbers? So I'll just
Please
start
don't. Please
51.
Please don't.
12,
Alright, so
16.
anyway, guys.
34.
13,
Hold
15.
up, my phone's ringing. Let me go check that real quick.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Graham's getting a call from the Cowboy.
Hello?
The cowboy's just like, I've got a big iron on my head,
No.
and it's aimed at you.
This isn't him. Sorry. Oh, no. He hung up.
What?
The Cowboys coming. But actually, memes and japes aside, I actually do enjoy this song. I think that this is a perfect setup to the album because it's very silly, which I know that was one of my criticisms, but I think it works in this sense right here because it is like it's so simple, like it's 4 words repeated over and over again, and it just like progressively, like he might sing it slower, faster, or higher pitch or lower pitch, but it's the same chord, it's the same chord progression, and same lyrics for 3 minutes, and it's very like it's almost bold in its simplicity. Like that's a hard thing to market, but I think that it works well in this album, and I think it perfectly prepares you for what is coming.
Well, I think that also kind of describes just Mac in general. People describe
Yeah.
him as, like, the richest bum you'll ever meet. Like, he dresses like a bum, he lives like a bum, but he isn't a bum.
I wouldn't say he lives like a bum. He just lives a simple life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
He's humble.
He just
Yeah.
wants to live a quiet life.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like
this
Ted
song was
Kaczynski.
or this album.
What,
Don't please
Wait,
stop
hold on.
comparing Mac DeMarco to Ted Kaczynski.
bro, he's more like Joe. He's more like Yoshikage Kira, okay? Come on.
It's kind of funny how similar the energy is between him and Tyler the Creator, because like he makes silly songs. Like, I mean, Tyler the Creator doesn't really make silly songs now, but he used to make like all kinds of
Wait,
funny
you mean,
shit.
like, what was the album called? Cherry Bomb or some shit like that?
like, Trash Wang.
Like Trash Wang, yeah.
Oh, that, yeah, okay, I get what
Trash Wang.
And then, I mean, it just makes sense to me now. Well, I mean, so the reason why I know about Mac DeMarco is because of Ryan. Ryan told me about Mac DeMarco.
Uh-huh.
And then I started, and then I, at some point listened to Cherry Bomb, and, because basically the way that I, like, listen to artists is I'll like go back to the beginning of their discography and listen to them from start to finish of their discography. If I'm like super interested in an artist, so I did that for Tyler the Creator at one point, and I listened to Cherry Bomb, and on Two Seater, he basically there's a beat switch. There's like a little interlude like skit where he's talking to I guess his girlfriend that's in the Two Seater with him, and he has the windows down, and he says like they're driving around listening to Mac DeMarco. And I didn't know who Mac DeMarco was at the time, and then after Ryan told me about him, I find out that Tyler the Creator and him are friends. I didn't know. Yeah.
I did not know that either.
They've actually been talking about making a collaborative tape for a little bit. But,
yeah, but him and
A$AP
A$AP Rocky have been talking
Sap,
about making a collaborative tape, and they
it's
haven't done
never
it yet, and
gonna
it pisses me
happen.
off. Makes me fucking mad.
Then again, I
Anyway.
guess I could see them being friends because I know Tyler's friends with people like Rex Orange County, so
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Let's see what
I knew
forgot what I
that
was-
Mac was also friends with Mac Miller, and that'll come up in a few of the
Yeah.
songs later now. But is that all we have to say for the opening song?
Well, I want to say something that I forgot to say about the album before. Whenever I went back
we
and
got a
listened
viewer.
to, whenever I went back and listened to Mac DeMarco, I listened to I forget which one I started with. I think I started with Rock and Roll Nightclub. Then I haven't listened to every single album of his, but I listened to Rock and Roll Nightclub 2 and Salad Days.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of stopped listening to the album because I was on like a road trip and the road trip ended, so I stopped listening to it for a while. So now that I've gone back, now that I've like listened to those songs and then listened to Here Comes the Cowboy, his singing has improved a lot since those albums. Because there's some points where it's a little shaky in those albums, but he's definitely improved his singing.
Well, Mac doesn't ever claim to be like this very, very talented singer or this very talented guitarist even. He just says he likes to make music, so he makes music.
Yeah, I'm just saying his singing has improved, for sure. But yeah.
Graham, wasn't it you that
next
said
week,
Mac DeMarco is just the millennial Mr. Rogers?
I don't think so, but that makes sense.
I can recall
I
you
don't
saying
think I
that at one
asked that.
point.
I might have been drunk and said it, but
Speaking of which, where's Drunk Ryan? We haven't seen him play video games in a while.
Drunk Graham blacked out last night, and so I think I'm done with alcohol for a little bit.
Bummer.
I don't want to go into too much detail, but my girlfriend is very upset with me, so I might be a single man again very soon.
Oh shit.
Oh, well.
But anyway, so back to the sad album. Next up is Nobody. Let's not dwell on that one.
Well, it's about fame. He's talking about once you become famous, you can't go back to being nobody.
Nobody, yeah.
And you can't just stop being Mac DeMarco, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now every time he goes out he gets recognized, or
Fuck.
you know, every time he's goes to any kind of event he has to have
Garrett, go to sleep.
security and all that. So, that's how it is as an artist. Except if you're, Tony Hawk, then you can go from being super famous and then you go to no one recognizes you anymore.
Yeah,
But
Tony
everybody
Hawk's
knows your
kinda
name.
lucky.
Yeah, he
Honestly,
doesn't
like-
appreciate it as much. He like complains about it, but it's like,
Wait,
like every artist like
I think most. I think,
desires that, like they want that.
wait,
I
aren't
think
they
Tony
making a
Hawk
new...
is less complaining about it and more just joking about it.
I
Yeah.
think he's more just how bizarre it is.
Yeah.
Like someone he talks about
Everybody knows him, but like nobody recognizes him. Yeah. Fuck.
like someone on a plane asked him like said, "Are you Tony Hawk?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then they said, "Why?"
What a fucking question. Just why?
Why are you Tony Hawk?
Bro, are they making a new pro skater though?
Yeah.
I think so,
man,
yeah.
it's gonna be sick.
Making a new
Can
skate.
everybody go to sleep?
Yeah.
We're gonna start
No,
spawning
I'm
phantoms.
in a mine.
No, we're streaming, Ryan.
Didn't we sleep last night?
No,
Ryan, we literally
haven't slept in
live
3
in
nights.
an underground hobbit hole. We'll be okay.
Oh, actually, I never mentioned it, but because I know I'm going to forget about it in like 10 seconds, I think Finally Alone's probably my favorite, just in terms of like the beat and shit.
That one's pretty good. Alright, so yeah, nobody. So the bio for the song on Genius says Mackie. I don't know. It's an interesting name. Mackie may feel like he is a creature, quote unquote, because he is dehumanized as a music icon. People can be portrayed as inhuman through media because the clicks and eye-grabbing title are apparently worth the suffering of normal people who happen to be famous. And so Mac kind of is like just a normal dude who got famous, and now I'm sleeping. And then he has no real choice in the process. Plus, didn't you say this is the one where he's a lizard man, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, part of the lizard man is like, haha, funny Freemasons reference, but also, like, it's like how people will say, like, the Hollywood elites are lizard people. But,
Yeah.
and also, like, figuratively, they're almost treated as such, like, by everybody. Like, sure, only the whack jobs actually call them crazy lizard people, but they're still treated like they're this unique breed of human and
Yeah, they're
put on
just a different
display.
species.
Yeah. So, on this also the album, the one with the no third degree.
Right.
And the Masonry reference, because at first I started reading and like people would like mention the Freemasons and some genius things, and I was like, why are people? I was like, this is kind of goofy. And then the more I read, the more I was like, wait, these guys might be onto something. Bruh, Jared, I almost fell into that.
Sorry, I'm trying to make stairs.
Why are you doing it this way? Why don't we just...
Garrett knows no subtlety.
You couldn't just, like, extend the blocks and make stairs?
Yeah, I believe next up is Finally Alone.
Yes.
That is my personal favorite song as well. Sometimes I do feel like I just want to, like, leave society. I've actually talked to Graham a lot. Like, whenever I'm having a bad day, part of me just wants to go out and just be a hippie. And just hitchhike my way across the nation and just live my life. And not have to worry about, do I have enough money? Do I have a roof over my head? I wish I could, but I'm poor. So...
No, but that's the life of a hippie.
Yeah, but then, like, if
All you need
I'm...
is a motorcycle and sleeping bag.
It's gonna
Exactly! Just like Ted Kaczynski. Not Ted Kaczynski. He had a bicycle in a shack.
Bro, but it is just like Ted Kaczynski, though. Like, this whole album...
No, that's like, Charles Manson. He doesn't have to take his time and go to work. He's got a motorcycle and a sleeping bag, and 10 or 15 girls.
Get a good work for someone's money.
Thought you were just aiming that crossbow at me. Like, had me a little annoyed there.
He was,
Right,
Garrett.
that's
What are you, retarded?
Yes.
Yes.
Oops.
Alright, bro. Alright, that's
Oops,
enough, bro.
did I accidentally a war?
Alright, so then next up, so Finally Alone. I also really like this one. So one of the lyrics, I actually like this a lot. In his second verse, he says, "Hop on a plane, fly out to Spain, in Tintalo." Yeah, but the way that he says it, uh, the word intentalo is Spanish for try it. Probably mispronouncing that, but the way he pronounces it in the song, I always thought he said, "You can die alone."
I always thought
And
that too.
so I'm I'm sure that was like an intentional, because I felt like that would fit within the song if he said, "You can die alone," because it's about wanting to get away from people and just kind of be on your own. And so I think this is like, well, it's just daydreaming and being like, what could I do? And so you're like, man, what if I moved to Spain? Like nobody would ever be able to find me in Spain, and I just have a couple cows on a ranch somewhere. And so it's just a lot of like hopeful thinking for somebody that's trapped in like a city or something, and like um what's the word?
So
Somebody
the
that's
way
bogged
you
down by the
solve that
city and the people.
problem is you sell all your mortal possessions, you purchase a bike, and then you go out and build you a little shack out in the woods.
And then you rename yourself Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, now you're picking up on it.
There's a creeper outside. Be careful.
And so what Mac said
Do y'all
about the
have any
song
iron?
on Rolling Stone is he said it's a cute little Postman Pat sounding song. The
Garrett, do
lyrics are
you
cute as
have
well.
any iron?
Some girl that
I have hella iron.
Ryan, do not interrupt me. I'm speaking.
Sorry.
The talking stick. It's a cute little Postman Pat sounding song. The lyrics are cute as well. Some girl that wants to imagine the grass always being greener. And she tries, and it isn't. So she has to keep going. That's kind of what I've done with my life for the last 10 years or so. Can't really seem to settle down anywhere for more than 3 years. And so, yeah, I think that's just like, it's definitely a really important song in the album. And it definitely, uh, I would consider it probably, if not the, like, biggest summary of what the album is. It's probably in the song. And this is one of my favorite songs from it. Anybody else have anything to say about Finally Alone?
I do really resonate with the feeling of the song because it's really hard to just accept being being stuck in the big city, or, well, the city that we live in isn't that big, but it still sucks. Living in the city sucks. Sell your mortal possessions, live in a shack.
Rename yourself Ted Kaczynski.
Alright.
Only...
Okay, and so then next up is Little Dog's March. So Little Dog's March is an ode to growing up. Those days of hard partying, drinking, and rock and roll lifestyle are behind him. Although he seems to have come to terms with it, he may still hold a sadness about it as evident with his tone and lines like "Hope you got your fill. All those days are over now." This is all stressed down live from his Billboard interview posted on April 19th, 2019, in which he states, "I'm older and I'm not old, but I'm not as interested in getting blackout drunk on stage. I want things to sound nice." And so yeah, this is just a song about maturing and how he's like, you have to take your bow eventually, and you're going to grow up, and things are going to change in your life, and you need to know when it's time to back out and when it's time to slow things down. And that's pretty much what I got. It's a simple little song. There's only two verses, of course, a verse of 4 lines each. So it's just a short, simple, nice little song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't really relate to that song because I'm still 20,
Yeah,
and
yeah, we're all very young, so
except for Rink. Rink is
like
like
this.
3,000 years old.
Yeah, Rink is a eldritch
But he
demon.
is
That's
also a
besides the
small
point.
anime girl, so he's legal.
Anywho,
Hold up. Shouldn't it have been the other way around?
What?
I'm a small anime girl, but I'm also 3,000 years old.
Yeah.
Also, how dare you assume that I'm small?
did you take the bell?
It's right there.
Kill you.
This kind of reminds me of a thought that I had. Everyone's always hoping for a like a happily ever after, or like you get to a certain point of your life and your life kind of ends, but it doesn't end. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
have the happily ever after, like the your story ends and you get to live the rest of your life like a certain way, but life keeps going. Like
Well, that's
there's
what a
always the
happily
next
ever after
phase.
is in like all the fairy tales, right?
Well, I think a
Well,
happily ever
because it
after
says
is
happily ever
kind of like
after.
you don't have to think about anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in life, there's always the next page. There's always another chapter. There's always it keeps going. Like once you get married, like it's not over. You still have to keep going. Like once you've retired, it's not over yet. You have to keep going. You know what I mean? It's not over till you die.
Unless you're Ted Kaczynski.
Then your soul will live on.
Forever.
I do not endorse the thoughts and opinions of Ted Kaczynski. I am just letting that be known now to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But CIA, hit my line. We can talk about it.
Sure, I'm gonna be real.
Alrighty.
I feel like the CIA are like cooler than the FBI. I feel like they'd
Of
be,
course,
like,
because they do what they
cooler. I
want.
feel like they'd be like
Yeah, fuck
cool, chill dudes.
Like you want to sell drugs to African American communities? Like do it, bro. Just fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You want to
Dude,
randomly
FBI would
feed
do
LSD to people? Like
okay,
fucking do
okay.
it,
So
bro.
FBI is like the strict father, and CIA is like the looser mother. It's like you ask the FBI something, and they're like, "No, you're not doing that." And then you just like go to CIA, and they're like, "Yeah, all right, fine."
And they're like, well, how do you define combatant? You know what I mean?
How did we get on this?
I have no idea. I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. I have no idea how we came up with this.
Bro, not even God knows where the fuck we are.
Okay,
So, the Cowboy is here.
What's the next song? We
I don't
did.
even know.
hold up. Sorry.
We
I'm
did
trying
Friday.
to do...
Oh no, we did Little Dog's March.
Yeah,
So
Little
next
Dog
one's
March.
Preoccupied.
Preoccupied, yep. Alright, so
It's
Preoccupied...
actually like people are looking at their phones, but it's not like corny.
Yeah,
You know?
Preoccupied is
Okay.
basically a not corny, we live in a society.
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
And I like the second verse, open your mind, filled it with bullshit.
Yeah.
Locked up your heart without even knowing it. Because, first of all, I love the way he says bullshit in the song. Like, it's just so stressed and emphasized. But also, it's about, like, people, like, claim to be, like, open-minded free thinkers. But humans are also naturally inclined to, like, latch on to ideas.
You are
And
not
so
immune
even
to
if you-
propaganda.
Yeah. And so even if you think, like, you have an open mind, it's still full of bullshit. and like you can like where none of us are immune to propaganda. Brand Twitter told me to eat at Wendy's today, so I did. And how does this work? But
I think you were doing that because you just want to bang Wendy.
actually, I was
Bro,
doing
I mean, have you seen the
Baconator
Wendy's
slap.
girl?
Which one?
Like,
okay, I'm pretty sure the-
cartoon or
She
the real
would-
person.
She would step all over me. Fuck!
Anyway, so preoccupied comments on how in the age of technology and mass media, many people are sending their attention away from real human interaction and get distracted easily.
Oh man, I love doing that so much. I love just fucking with y'all like that to the point where y'all just have to try to avoid it. Oh man. Oh man.
But yeah, so
So she's
preoccupied.
probably
She's probably overage or underage.
no, underage. My man's.
Graham was getting a little excited there.
He's like, oh, underage. Master Oogway, my time has come.
How the fuck do I set tripwires? You don't know?
I'm
You
not
have to put the
Vietnamese.
You have to. You have to have two tripwire hooks.
Oh,
And
two
you put-
tripwire hooks.
Yeah, you have to have two tripwire hooks. So you put two tripwire hooks across from each other, and then you put a piece of string between them.
Yeah, that's what I was messing up. So anyway, that's preoccupied. Yeah, it's just we live in a society. Next up is Choo Choo, which is a fun song about taking a train ride and dying. The way I
What?
always interpret this song, that's literally the lyrics are Choo Choo, take a ride with me, Choo Choo, come and die with me. Like that's.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
so, what I interpret this this one to be, is it's like a when you get on a train, it's not exactly easy to get off of it. Like it's you think like, oh, okay, it's just a ride, I can just hop off any time. I think this kind of plays into Nobody, where it's like it's just this repetition and it just keeps going, and there's no way to hop off the ride. It can also be just life in general, not necessarily that of a famous person, but for instance, like life goes on. Like it's hard. You can't just stop. You're on that ride until you die.
Yeah.
And it's this simple song, so we don't have to stick on this one for very long. I don't know if y'all have anything else to say about this one.
I feel like it also plays into Nobody in that once you. So, someone on Genius said that it was a commentary on like the music industry and how like it's happy in the beginning where it's like telling you, oh yeah, let's get on this train ride. It's just to be a train ride or whatever. But then they say, come and die with me, and you're like, oh shit, this dude's fucking insane. Like this is gonna fucking kill me. And you weren't expecting that going in, and it changed mid deal a lot, like a lot of deals in the music industry. Like you go into it and you're like, oh, this sounds great, it sounds amazing, but then you actually get into it and it's shit. Yeah, the music industry's fucked.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So next up is K. I like K a lot. It's definitely like I do think it's the least fitting of the album, because it's happy. But
It's meant to be a break and show how like this person is a break from all the shitty things that he thinks about. You know what I mean?
yeah, I guess That's definitely true. I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, I mean, it happens about halfway through the album, like right at it, and yeah, it's a good break, and it's like to remind you that like even though things are bad in the world, and like people want to live a simple life, you can still find happiness in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, such as with his girlfriend Kiera, which is Kay. And I think it also is a
Oh,
play on words because like his girlfriend's name is Kiera, so that's what the titular K is. But it almost sounds like a sad song and almost like a sarcastic. Like that's what I thought it was at first. Was it was kind of like sarcastic in a way because I felt like it was like a when you receive a text from your girlfriend that just says K, that's not a good thing. Like that's a very it's one of the worst, most passive aggressive things you can get sent. So, and that's kind of what I thought this was talking about. But after reading into it, you realize that it's Kay as a person that he loves, and so
uh, see, when like I look at it, I thought it was just like the literal epitome of how simplified this album is. Like my man just couldn't even be bothered to say okay, like everybody else who has a phone. So
yeah, I guess that also
okay.
makes sense. I don't think that's quite what he was going for.
No,
After
I
reading
no.
about it,
When you mention all that stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's definitely not what he was going.
but that's definitely an interesting take. Um, the top comment just says K, 21 votes. All of them have K. That's it.
Fucking hell, goddamn it, internet.
All right, and next up is Heart to Heart. This is another song about a person. Heart to Heart is about Mac Miller. Who do y'all remember what year did Mac Miller die?
I think I think this actually came out a little before or just after he died.
I think it was just after.
Question:
It was definitely after. What's up, Rank?
who's Mac Miller?
Oh, he's a
Uh,
he's a rapper.
have I heard him
Surprise
before?
you probably have. Like, he was kind of big. He's a white guy. Um,
Hold on, let me just look him up. Also, after saying question, I really just wanted to say I teleported bread, but that wouldn't have really made any sense.
That's it's a Team Fortress 2 reference. Rank, I'm pretty sure you're developing autism.
so he died early September
Wait, hold on.
of
What do
2018.
you mean? First off, I already have autism. Okay, fuck you. But second off, what do you say? I'm developing it now. What did I just say that showed that? I made a reference to a
because
very
a lot of
funny video.
autismos play Team Fortress 2, ourselves included.
I have never heard of that. Coincidence? I don't know what the word is. I'm autistic, but I have never heard of those two things being together.
Okay, so this
Well,
album wasn't released shortly after. So this album was released in May 2019. Mac Miller
you're just trying to
died
get
in
it.
September 2018. So it had been a few months since Mac Miller had passed. But regardless, DeMarco and Miller were good friends. And as Mac DeMarco said in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, we had the strange history, and then we became really close. And I was going over to his place multiple times a week, up until the point that he passed away. The lyrics suggest that he's referring to his relationship with Mac Miller and the times they spent together in Heart to Heart. And so it talks about like all the days we spent together, all of what days we were part of each other's lives, heart to heart.
I think that little because in that little in the to all the times we're a part of each other's lives, he has the little pause. And I think that that is to put emphasis on to all the times we were a part of each other's lives, so that it's a double entendre. The
Yeah,
sentence
that,
itself.
um,
Yeah.
the it is a double entendre with the part in each other's lives, not the part. I also like how at the very end, the outro, that's both Mac Miller and Mac DeMarco. Like I never knew that that was actually Mac Miller. In fact, I had no idea up until I started doing research for this album that DeMarco was friends with him. And so I thought that was a really interesting thing that I learned. So for the ninth track, we've got Hey Cowboy. Um, and this is another simple short song uh, about basically the grass is greener on the other side. It's a guy talking to a girl and asking if she's gonna like stay on the simple life of the farm, or is she gonna come and see the hustle and bustle of the city. So there's some like, and it has good things, the big city, like things that sound nice, but then it also has like sure as hell ain't no stars down the dairy aisle. Is what is like the last verse, and people attribute that to like a play on words. The dairy aisle is supposed to be like the Milky Way, um, and it's the life's materialistic mannerisms, and they're not really as glamorous as it may seem. Like it sounds like all nice, but like also kind of scary because like give up all of your stars to watch some TV. Like he keeps talking about these stars, and it's what I think of it as like somebody talking to like a city folk. You got your city boys, all right, and they talk to the farm girls, and
And then you got the country boys.
they don't know anything about what it's like out there. And so he's like, yeah, just give up your stars. Like, what is there out there to do? There's nothing. You guys got the sky, and that's about it. And so you can come watch some TV and see the big city lights. And because in a way, the city lights are also kind of like stars.
Well, but
Pretty good.
On top of
as
that, he's talking
someone,
about like stars, like celebrities on TV.
Yeah,
or
I didn't even think about that.
some of the, like, you are never, ever going to see any stars if you live in, like, central Los Angeles. There is way too much light pollution. So, you can give up your chance to live out there on the farm and every single night look up and see the stars, see the cosmos, where we came from. Or you can give that up to watch some TV or be closer to the dairy aisle. Which is what that's what I get out of this, because
I mean,
would you give up the opportunity to like look at something that not everyone gets a chance to see? Or would you rather like just have more modern conveniences?
I mean, it really depends on what it is. Well, for me personally, it would depend on what it is I'm looking at. Like, if it's just a naked homeless man, then I wouldn't need to be there for very long. But if it was fucking...
That's one thing the city has
if it
on
was
us. We
Aurora
don't get a
Borealis.
lot of naked homeless folk out here.
But if it was, say, Aurora Borealis, then shit.
Good God, what is happening in there?
You know, I'd be in Seymour's kitchen all the time.
All right, but yeah, so that's Hey Cowgirl. Interesting takes. Next up is the 10th album on the Square, and this one is a bizarre one because this is where I started to notice like people talking about the Freemasons and Illuminati, and so it opens up with the verse "Brother's Hands." This time it's in it's in Brother's hands. And the top one says, "Brother is a direct Freemasonic reference. They call each other brother. Mac has previously spoke about Freemasons within his family." And I was like, that seems like a stretch. But then the more I read, I was like, wait, maybe that makes sense. Because a square, um,
Because it's square.
I'm trying to find.
Cause the salami lid.
Trying to find the lyric where they talk about what the square is. That's right. So the square is, it's a Masonic symbol for, the Masonic square, which symbolizes the traits and relationships of males. Mac could possibly be referring to the relationship between him and his father. Freemason's square can be seen being held by a pig character in the music video. So it's just a interesting song about like what it. I almost want to see like what it is to be a man, um, and having to live like be something that you're not. Almost like he has to like
A
he feels like
square,
he's
a square in like a square is used in carpentry as well. You
yeah
basically the purpose of it is it's a perfect 90 degrees. It's the standard of how you align everything. So if you're living on the square or like by the square, you're making sure it's almost like you have to live up to this standard, like this impossible standard almost.
hmm
And the square is like your guiding block, you know?
yeah, and
That's how I kind of saw it.
that definitely makes sense. That also plays into the Freemasons. 'Cause, yeah, that's what the square and the Freemasons. That's it's in their symbol. That's what they're
Right.
talking about. Like it's the
Well, I
90
mean,
degrees.
they use squares in masonry
Yeah.
to so that you can line up your bricks right, so that you can, you know, have straight lines.
What do you guys think about my doorbell?
That's pretty cool.
That's
I
nice.
was gonna make. I was gonna build it to where it repeats. It just plays over and over again. When you step on it, I was like, I don't want to fucking irritate. It wasn't worth it. Like it would irritate me too. Um, but yeah, so Mac recently mentioned in an interview with Zane Lowe on Beats One that he's drawing from his existing work with the overall record title. He's perhaps using this time of reflection to look back at his catalog. He, what is this? That was so it's an example of his period of self-reflection, um, according to this dude on Genius. So, number 11, Oliver Yesterdays. So Oliver Yesterdays is another single that he released for the album, uh, and it's about reminiscing on the past, remembering Oliver Yesterdays. So, and the track speaks on how, even though the past is the past, there's plenty of time for new things in the future. Success, adventure, happiness, and memories. Um, and he said that this song was actually a demo that Mac had lying around before he even started recording for the album. And so, but it was inspired by the Oasis documentary Supersonic. Uh, and so this is a longer song in the album, 4 minutes long, and it keeps with the simple choruses. Oliver Yesterday's gone now, and I don't mean that your dream is over, and that we don't make your heart beat slower. It's such a shame to complain when Oliver Yesterday's have gone away. And so it's just this reflection on the past and what has happened to you, and how that you need to keep looking to the future and remember that things can get better. You might not always have like a shoulder to prop you up, for instance, but you need to remember yesterday is gone, but tomorrow is yet to come. So, and just stay focused on that. Alright, next up is the penultimate song, Skyless Moon. And it's another tribute song for Mac Miller. According to Genius, it's just, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to this song. There's no like annotations on Genius. So it's kind of just like how the years go on with or without you. And the autumn came and changed up your plans. Remember now, their dead had gone. No one wants you singing along. So I think what he means by the autumn came and changed up your plans, I think that's referring to the autumn in which Mac Miller died. And the days are numbered. The life just keeps on going. And so it's just a tribute to like how things are different. Life kept moving on, but it was different now that without him. And it's like a reminder to keep your friends close and enjoy them while you have them. And remember that we all will pass one day. And our plans change, people come and go. And
Life's a bitch and then you
sometimes it
die.
gets better. Yeah.
That's why we get high.
I also like the imagery, the like mental imagery of a skyless moon, because most of the time it's moonless sky. And so, what exactly is a skyless moon? It's very bizarre to think about, but like
it's what the moon landing was going to be.
what?
What?
But okay, I'm saying that in the joke version of the moon landing never happened because the moon's still in the sky. So if the moon had landed, it wouldn't be in the sky. So
I understand. Playing just went full schizo on us for a second.
oh, honey, if I went schizo, it'd be for more than just a second.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say, if I started killing, there wouldn't be anyone left.
What the?
That is also a Charles Manson quote.
Interesting
To be
quote,
fair,
Ryan.
though, there wouldn't be any left.
Gee, this is the third time this week that you brought in Charles Manson quotes.
Alright, Miss Fritz, I'm about to head out. No cock and ball torture.
So yeah, that's Skell's Moon, and finally,
Hold on,
the
wait.
What?
You said Sheen, and then fucking Ryan did Carl Weezer? Come on, man. Don't you know your Jimmy Neutron characters?
Hey, Jimmy,
Bastard.
you want to read the Unibauer Manifesto?
No, Colonel. I've already read it.
Fucking based.
That's really
All
nice,
right. And now for my personal favorite song, the last song, Baby Bye Bye. God, my throat is going really dry, and I've realized how monotonous I've become. Ryan, do we have any viewers still?
I think we have one.
Nice.
Whoa, personal best.
All right.
My
so
personal
Baby
best
Bye
was
Bye-
actually 5.
Yeah, but like 3 of them were us. So
Yeah.
in fact, I'm pretty sure 2 of them were ranked on 2
Yeah,
different
2 of them
devices.
were ranked on different devices. However,
No. I specifically remember I went on 3 devices.
You did get several viewers for that time that you live streamed Sonic Forces, and people were making fun of you for
Yeah.
not being good at the game.
It's
Yeah.
a bit screwed up that the stream that you get the most viewers on is fucking Sonic Forces.
That makes me wonder what drives people to watch someone just play Sonic Forces.
Maybe they're watching Sonic Forces speedruns as like a meme.
I did not claim
sure.
that to be a speed run.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying maybe they're just in that category because of that.
I mean, who in their right mind would play it in the first place?
Someone who's bad shit out of
It's actually a pretty good game for
Shut
speedrun
up, you know you
because
hate
of
it.
how short it is.
I thought you were just gonna flat out say it's actually a pretty good game, but you have to have a high IQ to understand it. It's kind of like Rick and Morty.
You
Yeah,
see,
truly
me
the-
being a
the
Rick and
wor-
Morty fan and a Death Grips fan,
Sonic Forces truly is the Rick and Morty of Sonic games.
it's the Death Grips of Sonic games. No, that's Sonic Unleashed.
Alright, and so finally, the last song, Baby Bye Bye. So this song is just about, like, I think it's about getting over something, whether it's a person, or an event, or something like that. You have to let go of things that have passed and accept what has come and what has gone. And so, a lot of repetition in this song kind of reminds me of the intro, Here Comes the Cowboy, because that one also had a lot of repetition.
say that.
And so I think that it kind of like comes to like a full circle, I guess, by ending with the baby bye bye. And then it like slowly fades to silence, and you're left with your thoughts for a few seconds. And then
No, there
interlude
isn't
plays.
silence.
I thought there was.
No,
It's not
silence.
total silence. It's like a little interlude. I think he has like some people talking and like scuffling around.
I heard.
I
Well,
know that.
whenever I
I
looked
thought
at
there
it
was
on
silence between the last baby bye bye and the interlude, but maybe I'm wrong. So then it goes into the interlude, and it's somebody in like a Japanese train station or subway station, and you can hear the crowds murmuring and walking around and scuffling, and you hear the intercom talking about the stations, which trains are arriving and leaving. And it kind of reminds me, that calls me back to Finally Alone, how we wanted to just so badly get away from everybody. And that kind of gave me the vibe of Finally Alone, because like even though he's somewhere completely different and somewhere strange, and I think that was like, I feel like it was almost like a same thing with the grass is greener idea, that whoever the character was came to Japan or somewhere, went far away to escape the hustle and bustle of daily life, and they just came back into it because there's like no real way to escape it anymore. And then he goes batshit in the outro and starts doing all of his yeehaws, hoo-haws, mamas, and
I think that was more just to maybe. Okay, this just dawned on me. Maybe it's an allegory for death. So you've got to say goodbye to the real world. You've got to say goodbye to all of the ups and downs and all of that, and you're getting on the train to the afterlife. But then the afterlife is just weird. Like, we don't know what it's going to be, so right now we just perceive it as weird.
Dude.
Uh-oh.
It's that game, Grim Fandango, or whatever it's called. You remember that really old, like, point-and-click one? With, like, the skeleton, the Reaper, and there was a train? No one played that, did they? No.
No.
I didn't play it.
You're just a paranoid schizo ring.
Oh, no, when we talk after the whole music thing is done, then you'll realize how weird it could get.
Okay.
Okay. That's kind of
Hey,
concerning.
who are these dudes standing on top of my roof pointing crossbows at me?
Um, those are
January
raiders.
villagers.
Kill them.
Yeah,
Raiders,
here,
villagers
here.
aren't really common.
Grim Fandango. It was a PC game. Came out in 1998. And it's got a 9 out of 10. So, clearly it's a good game.
I mean,
Then again, I really shouldn't trust ratings anymore. God,
I just
looking at the last
saw it
one,
as like
she seems
at the end of it, he has like that really like insane laughter at the end, and it reminded me of like um Kanye on Yikes is what I think it was, where
Oh,
he was
the
like,
That's what fucking yeah.
like that's not
actually,
that
I've never
bullshit.
I never actually like fully realized how many like weird noises Kanye makes. So I spazzed. So he started spazzing on me. So I started spazzing on him, and he said, "That ain't Christ like," and I was like, "What?"
Can I
Yeah.
not repair crossbows?
Bro, Ryan is Kanye confirmed.
When?
Ryan, you're Kanye.
I'm honored,
Yeah.
but at the same time confused.
You make random noises, random weird noises, so you're
Okay.
Kanye.
Cool. Yeah, that is understandable. I think now that Baby Bye Bye is an allegory for death, or witnessing someone go through the death, where, like, just coming to the acceptance of, like, something bad happening, where in the end we just gotta laugh it off and let it roll on. Because at the end he says, "Get along, little doggy," and then he just has a laugh, and then it's over.
Or maybe it's like you're getting over someone else's death is kind of like get along, little doggy, because little doggy is supposed to be him. Like whenever he says a dog, he's referring to himself, like as a reference to his other album.
Yeah.
But so maybe he's talking about like, you know, I need to move on.
He needs to move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I get.
heard people
I get,
say that it's a breakup. That's symbolic for a breakup.
Yeah, that's what I was reading on Keys. I'm not quite sure that I.
I think it has to do with death.
Because
I think I agree with Ryan. It has to do with death.
I agree too. I think that's the better choice.
Big brain. Big brain.
Okay.
Me, big brain.
Yeah, Ryan, go destroy everybody's annotations on Genius. Be like, actually, you're wrong.
Actually, this person is wrong. This person is lying. They are a known fraud and a conspirator of ISIS.
Ninja Crisis 72 says there's a snap in the tone of the song changes to a slow acoustic rhythm with Max singing "Bye Bye Baby" bye bye in a sad voice. This represents how after a breakup you're moved and changing half this at an instant after realizing the rest and coming back. Yeah, Ninja Crisis 72, you're a fucking doofus.
Get off
Stay
Genius.
I think when he says like it starts out sad, but then it
Marking
moves
this
to
one
happy.
as a stretch.
It's like initially you feel really sad about it, and you're sad about that they're gone, but then you remember all the good times that you had, you know?
And
Yeah.
is Mac spiritual or religious?
I don't think he is. I'm not sure.
Well, he always tells people.
he
He always
strikes
says
me-
"God bless." Like he's
He
always.
strikes. I guess.
Bro, he's Bob Ross.
Mac DeMarco really strikes me as one of those white Buddhists. Like I feel like that's what he would do. Here, go to sleep.
I didn't know it was nighttime. Hold on. Gotta get out from the mind.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Ryan. I think the song is about death. Like I feel like that makes a lot more sense, especially since he already talks a lot about death in this album, and a lot of it is about the death of Mac Miller. And
Yeah.
so, I definitely think that's true. Look at the mics, just Mac Miller next time. But yeah, and this was the last song in the album. So does anybody have any final thoughts before?
Um, I think that for the next album we should probably like not do all the songs because that took like an
that
hour
did take a long
just
Well,
to do
yeah,
that
but-
section. But
What's
at the
point?
same time, we got to talk about a lot of stuff, so I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it.
I feel like we
Uh,
could try it again. I'll definitely need to like take a caffeine pill or something in preparation next time. So I know I was
I
gonna.
feel like maybe we should just like if we all say like yeah this song doesn't really have any like thing of no, then we should just like skip it.
Move on.
You know?
Yeah, good. I like that idea.
That's a good
But
idea.
sometimes also like the ones that you don't really have anything to say about are still really nice.
Yeah,
And
well,
you just-
then again,
just-
I didn't give this song any mind until, like,
we went
I
into
gave it a
people
thought just now.
Yeah. Which that's what this whole thing is really about. It's about like whether you've heard this album once or whether you've never heard it or whether you've heard it a million times. This club is about learning new things about the album. Because I love this album, but I have this like I never knew Mac Miller was a big part of the album. I never knew his girlfriend was a big part of the album. Like, I never really thought about the We Live in Society kind of stuff very much. But yeah, this like project that we're doing allowed me to think about it in that way. And so I think we should keep with the analyzing most of the songs, unless we get like a ridiculous fucking like, right? So just another okay computer, okay not okay. Um, we wouldn't. But if it's a shorter album or like there's less than like I don't know 15 songs, I think we could do it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like an EP.
Oh yeah, especially if it's an EP. If it's an EP, we can do whatever.
So, it is my turn now.
All right, and that's all we have time
the
for.
album.
Thank you guys. Come back next time.
Do y'all want psychedelic rock, or do y'all want pop?
What kind of pop?
Experimental.
Yeah. How psychedelic we talking? Like, is this psychedelic porn crumpets?
King Gizzard.
Or which album?
Non-Gun Infinity.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, alright, fine. Just cause we might as well get your fucking King Gizzard out of the way.
Alright, next up is Non-Gun Infinity!
I'm starting to regret this choice.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
No. The really cool thing about the album, you can listen to it on loop, just seamlessly.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later. So now that the album's over, let's talk about the schizo stuff I was going.
Alright, hold on. Let's get off